Welcome to the Hansen Brothers podcast. I'm Timmy and joined by my brother Kevin. We are teammates and world champions in Rallycross. This podcast is our space to catch up while traveling the motorsport world. Today we got the one and only, the voice of Rallycross, Andrew Coley, as our guest on the podcast. Welcome, Andrew. So great to have you here.
Go on, boy.
Thank you, lads, very much. Thank you for inviting me. I'm honoured. I really am honoured. I'm also, I'm excited to have something to do. It's been a very quiet off season.
First of all, it's nice to see you again because it's been a while since I saw you. We used to see each other every other weekend for Rallycross, but last couple of years in Extreme E, you've been commentating, but not on site. So it's nice to have this kind of time to catch up again.
Yeah, it has been strange, I have to say. Obviously, since leaving the World Championship, I haven't seen you guys, but then I've stayed so much in touch via Extreme E and obviously social media. Kevin, congratulations on getting engaged in Miami. Very cool. But yeah, congrats, mate. And Timmy, a second-time father now, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's Ted?
He's great, thank you. Like big life steps happened between we spoke.
I know. Yeah. Everything's changed. It's getting old quickly. But Extreme E was always weird from that point of view. In that you're such a part of the sport when you're commentating it. But I've been quite honest about it. I don't like not being at the events. Something that happened in a race, and you just have to make your best guess at what's happened, and you don't really know. And then obviously you get a WhatsApp going, no, you were wrong, mate. Something else happened. So there's not a lot you can do about it. But it was so, we've kind of stayed in touch. But we don't get to see each other as much as we did. I think the last time was Lydden Hill after the fire. The one time I came to see the World Rallycross Championship when I wasn't actually working on it, and it got cancelled. So I got a chance to come and see you guys.
No, we saw you in Vegas also last year.
Yes, of course, yeah,
that was
Vegas.
fun.
Yeah, for Nitrocross.
Yeah, we got to come to
but
your
what
one.
happened in Vegas has to stay in Vegas. So
Vegas.
we couldn't say that we actually met there. There would have been confidential information being spilled. So
I know that's my only worry with going on podcasts. I'm like, how honest shall I be today? Like often with podcasts, the best bit are just before we record it or just after we record it when we really tell the truth. But yeah, we'll do our best, won't we? But yeah, it's great to see both. Good to see both the kids are healthy.
You too. First up, I thought we'd start off a bit more chill, and we talk about you for once. Usually it's you asking us the questions. Now we get to do it the other way. So
it's going to be interesting.
Get to know Andrew Coley.
Dig into the life of Andrew Coley properly here.
I don't know if it will be that interesting in the middle of winter, but knock yourselves out. Go for it.
You're a very well-known commentator at this point. Everybody's heard your voice shouting in these crazy moments. But like, how did you get into commentary? How do you start off this career?
It was so I was a rally driver back in the day, and alongside that I worked as a motorsport instructor. So I did motorsport instructing for more than a decade. And it was completely by accident that I got into TV. It wasn't something that I wanted to do in the start. 2008, you boys are probably too young. There was a big recession, and a lot of motorsport instructing work is corporate work with big companies. And the first thing they do is they cancel instructing, big days out. So they cancel, a day at Brands Hatch. We can't afford that. So my work just fell off a cliff, and I was like, well, what else can I do? And I had to think about it. And every time I was working somewhere like Brands Hatch and a film crew turned up, there'd be 50 instructors, but the whoever was running the day would go get Andrew to do it. And I was like, there must be a reason why they don't ask Nick or John or whoever the others are. And I was like, all right, maybe I'm good at talking. And initially I sort of looked into it. I was like, this TV is wicked. Like it's really easy and good. And of course that's not the truth at all. But I was like, I want to be a TV presenter. But you look into it, and basically there's tons of courses, to be a TV presenter, but no guarantee of work. And I also looked at all the TV presenters. They're all really, really good looking. Like they're all like ex models and stuff. I'm like, well, I'm all right, but like I don't think I'm gonna stack up against some ex catalog models. I was like, well, what do I know about? And I just was so into rally, like so into it, everything. This was like late noughties. Yeah, I sod it. I'll get in touch with Eurosport. So I got in touch with Eurosport, and it took I had to kick the door down. Basically, it was like 6 emails to 3 different people. Some of them go unanswered. And I said, look, I love rally. I just won my championship last year. do you need a rally expert? And it was a bit of a stretch, really, because my championship was like fairly low level, but they were like, yeah, we do. So come and see us. So I went and saw them. They were like, we don't have any money to train you. You've got a nice voice, but you're nowhere near being a commentator. We haven't got a training course. We don't know what to do, really. And I was like, well, can I come and watch somebody else do it? Like, I was desperate to hang on to the opportunity. And I went up twice to Eurosport and sat in the studio with the headphones on and listened to Paris going, all the counts and everything, because it's all run out of Paris. And then I went in twice and did co-coms on a 26-minute highlight show. You don't need a co-commentator on a 26-minute highlight show. And then I got a call and they were like, will you come and commentate this rally and we'll pay you? And then actually the first big gig I had was 2010 Rally Monte Carlo on site. So the first gig, the girl called me and she said, I've got an early Christmas present. Do you want to go to Rally Monte Carlo? I was like, yes, I do.
Yeah, it's big W for you.
Yeah, it was mega. I wish I brought it downstairs. I've actually got the big sticker, the media sticker with Rally Monte Carlos. I've just done my office this last couple of weeks. And we framed it. I found it all rolled up in a cupboard.
Wow.
And it's like the big sticker that you put, when you see media on the car on that. And I've still got it from my first event.
And where in that did you get the call to go and do Rallycross?
I chased after it, basically. So I read an article in Motorsport News saying that the rights to Rallycross had gone to IMG, this massive sports corporation. And I'd been commentating rally, obviously as the co-commentator, but actually the year before 2012, I'd become a lead commentator for a racing championship called Super League Formula, which went belly up that year. So I'm pretty good at being on board championships that die, so be warned.
Oh, no.
Which Matt Beale, the producer that you guys know as well, he always jokes about it. It happens, So I'd got this experience as a lead commentator. My expertise was in rally. The first thing I'd ever watched in real life was the Rallycross Grand Prix up at Brands Hatch. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, it's an opportunity to do rally, which I absolutely love. And so much of Rallycross has crossover in terms of the way the cars are built and the way they move, particularly on loose surfaces. And I was like, but there's racing. And it's carnage, good racing. I want in. So I emailed motorsport@img.com. And that unbelievably went to Rob Armstrong, who was the absolute head of motorsport. You'd think it would go to, someone in an office, wouldn't you? Go, get rid of this Noah. Like, we're not going to need him. And so it went to Rob. And I'd also, Matt Beale, who's the producer, who still works now on Extreme E, Nitro, and all the rest of it. Matt saw me and was like, look, I've got something maybe for next year. Anyway, we all got called to this meeting at IMG randomly. And basically, Matt had been wanting to talk to me about Rallycross. I'd already got in touch with IMG about Rallycross, and we all ended up at the same meet. So it was kind of, I guess it was meant to be. But I went after it. I really wanted it. And I was just lucky that IMG were like, well, we'll give him a go. So that's how it started.
I really like that. I mean, it just also really shows that if you don't ask, you don't get. And that's really, the opportunities land in your lap when you actually chase something. And if you just sit at home, do nothing, then life is going to crumble. But you continually chase and push forward. Also, going back to you being an instructor and so, do you think that has helped a lot in commentating all kinds of motorsport, understanding the car and what drivers go through a lot more than just, being interested in tire strategies and overtaking and joker lap strategies and so on?
Yeah, massively. I mean, going back even to my competitive days, he's been absolutely huge. I've not won anything at the level you guys have won at, but I can get in a car and get it around a lap sideways and have a feel. And then, straight away, it's got more grip than I thought. Oh, the brakes are better. Oh, that's more slippery than I thought. But it really helps when I'm watching you guys and I see a moment. You're not in the car. You're not feeling it. So you just have to take your best guess. And without the experience of knowing what it's like when your power steering fails and you go off through a hedge and you get told off by the team, yes, it happened. You can't do that. So I think as well, the other thing that's been a real benefit is to do the co-commentary role, first of all. I went from fan to competitor to co-commentator to lead commentator. And so you've had the full picture. And I think that helps. I think the big thing that helps, to be honest, as well, is that I love it. And I really love motorsport. Yeah, I love it. I get really emotionally involved in it all. And that's got to help. If you don't love it, what's the point,
No, exactly. I think that's what comes across, like, through the screen more than anything. Is like how you're genuinely passionate about what's happening. When there is something crazy going on and you get into your high pitch voice and it's like, and then you stand up in the couch like, oh my God, then the viewers feel what you feel. And then if you wouldn't genuinely be excited or anxious or happy or whatever it is, or nervous, it wouldn't be the same. And how many races do you think you've done now?
Don't know, mate. With the World Championship, I remember I was gutted because I think I did 79. Which was from, so obviously I did this 2013 before it was World Championship, so I did every single event. I never missed an event until I finished. And that was a conscious decision because I thought if you miss an event, someone comes in and does a good job, you know, you can be replaced. So I did all 79 events and I was gutted I didn't make it to 80. But I wanted to touch on what you were saying about the excitement, Timmy, and the emotion. Your job as the commentator, which is again why I really believe the commentator should be on site, is everybody who is watching at home is at home. And the commentator, I believe, should transfer the energy from the event to the people at home. That's why I need to go. I saw Timmy this morning. He looked nervous. You know, I saw Andrew. Perfect example. The most pressure I've ever felt on air was you guys, 2019, South Africa. With Andreas.
Gives anxiety just thinking about it.
Oh, mate, I can remember there's the lovely thing online, which is the commentary box in the final, which I still get. If I watch it, I get goosebumps, which is wonderful.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable
Such a great memory for me. I wanted to do it justice because we'd had this incredible battle all season long. And you feel the pressure that you're carrying that action to everybody at home. You know, if you do you know what it's like, you watch a race with terrible commentary, you're like, oh, he's ruined it, mate. And I wanted it to be perfect, but I just felt so much pressure. I almost felt sick on air for you guys. I remember that actually the build-up to it was one of my favourite bits because we had 5-6 minutes of build-up where you were so far back from the pre-grid and I was like, they shut the door in now, he's on his own. And even now I feel like I can feel it, you know, because it was such a moment. You were going to the grid to do battle for the World Championship. And we'd all been talking about it since Canada when... Did you have a shocker in Canada or did Andreas? Yeah. I can't remember.
No, me.
Yeah, both of us
Andreas
did,
won in Canada, and I missed the semi-final.
That was it.
13 after each.
Yes, that was it. And I remember there was.
And I got black flagged in the final.
I got black flag in my first ever rallycross race. But it was a wonderful moment in the history of the sport, you know, and to be involved in things like that is the dream as a commentator for me. You know, it always frustrates me when people are like, what's the greatest finish in a world championship? Okay, I get Lewis and Max, I get that. But I'm like, mate, 2019 World Rallycross is right up there. And if you don't know about it, you need to get involved. Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think we should tell that story. Obviously, it's been spoken about so much, but we need to do like a couple of episodes, probably like telling from inside, because during the time, as you say, like there was so much pressure and everything. And during the day, the whole time in South Africa, I was absolutely like dying inside. I was like so nervous, so much pressure, but I was 100% faking it outside. Like, no, I feel good, feel great. You know, like, because if I said the words out loud that I'm nervous or anything, I would have like collapsed. I just had to fake it for everyone. Like, no, I'm feeling good. But obviously it came across anyway, you know, that there is so much pressure. But
I remember talking to you and Andreas in the press conference in South Africa, and with the greatest of respect, you were both absolutely terrible. Like, I've never seen you and him. Obviously, you're so polished, both of you, for your respective sides. And it was like, we knew what was on the line. And I spoke to you both. And it was just like, they're both absolutely crapping themselves. Like, I mean, I knew what we were in for the rest of the weekend. Luckily for you, I was really nervous as well. And I think the fans were too. They followed it all year. And it was, like I say, it was a wonderful time for the sport. It really was. Especially after the manufacturers had left. They were like, oh, it's going to suck. It's like, it didn't suck, mate. It's the best season ever.
Yeah, it was the best season. Do you think that is your most memorable commentated race, or do you have another favorite that is like that's the peak of like excitement and also from your side delivering a great commentary?
I've got loads of memorable moments, Kevin. I mean, like Rally Monte Carlo was actually brilliant for me. You know, I was a totally unknown commentator, totally unknown, and we had suddenly 12 out of 13 stages live, way before the WRC was doing it. And I'm like, this is mental. Like, you know, I've gone from being a rally fan, and I still get a buzz now if I see an advert for something on the TV that I'm going to be in, which I think is funny. But back then, you know, it'd be like, IRC coming Monte Carlo this weekend, 12 all stages live, and I'm like, that's going to be me. Like, this is mad. You know, I'm sitting in a commentary box in Monaco wearing an IRC thing, and I've been able to go and talk to Francois Delacour about his tyre choice, you know. and you're on air, and just things like that are wonderful. And I tried to remember that when I'm at an airport and the flight's been cancelled, and I'm livid, and it's like, flight number 60 of the year, and I'm just desperately want to go home for Christmas, and I hate my life. You have to remember the good stuff. It's both, isn't it? It's both.
It's great to hear that. Actually, great story. And I can relate a lot in this. Like it's like being a driver. Like I want that seat, and like, oh, you get proud. Like my name's on the side of this race car. It's very much the same as you feel like, oh, it will be me talking over this race over here.
Though.
I can relate so much.
They don't realise that you guys love. It's like when you see a new livery on a car, and then you go to the car, and it's like Hansen on the side, and your race number. It's so sick, isn't it? And I always get a buzz like that if I can go and drive an RX 150. So I don't know what it's like when you go into a whole year of World Championship, but it is, isn't it? I think it's really important not to take for granted what we do collectively.
If we go to the present moment, obviously the world of short course off-road racing is a little bit in a pickle, with obviously nitrocross, a little bit of a pickle.
Very taxed.
Obviously nitrocross having its difficulties, Extreme E stopping its season early, World Rallycross in a promoter change. What is your take on all this? And obviously you were a lot on the state side, and we weren't so much in that, so it would be very interesting to hear what you feel about that, and also the Extreme E side, which you were a lot involved in.
I was disappointed with last year, really disappointed. For a number of years, I have thought that potentially 3 series in the same sphere was a lot. I think World Rallycross, Nitro Rallycross, Extreme E were all same drivers, same sponsors, same manufacturers, potentially. I thought we might lose 1 series. To lose all 3 within the space of 10 weeks is unbelievable. It's just ridiculous. I think all of the promoters, you've got to be careful what you say, haven't you? Because obviously I'm still looking to continue working in the sport. I think there were mistakes made by all the different series. If there weren't, they'd all be, the promoter would still be there and the series would still be running. So they were, if you're not involved in senior management, it's very hard to know exactly what was going on. I mean, Extreme E will become Extreme H. I'm excited about that. I've seen the car. Timmy, I think you've driven it. I don't know if you have, Kevin. Have you driven the car?
Yeah, I'm going soon again.
I love the idea of another technology, but I just think overall for the sport, disappointing. I thought there was this huge opportunity with all 3 series, and that the sport was really growing, and particularly Nitrocross. We had Dodge had just signed up. We had an energy drink come on board. We had a beer come on board. There was new sponsorship there. I know there were new manufacturers at the table, and I know you guys were looking to come and join the series. So for it not to carry on was absolutely gutting, because I felt it was the best chance for Rallycross in America. I'm really hoping someone can pick up the flag and run with it, because it was such a great serise. I mean, you guys know you won the first 2 Nitro Rallycross races ever.
Yeah. What were you told then from your perspective? Because obviously you were on the race. I was even told just before Salt Lake City that they were going to call that event off completely, but in the end it went forward. But then all the other races have not happened since. What were you told during that weekend and after, if you feel comfortable sharing?
I'd heard some rumours before we went to Salt Lake City. Some of the senior management had changed, which is always, a warning that things are afoot. And then it was talk of how do we finish the season? So there was, they were trying to finish the season. Could we go to Phoenix and do a triple header? Could we, do something else next year? And it was, I think it was a genuine plan to have a restructure, but unfortunately when it goes up to investor level, you're not dealing with people who know and love motorsport necessarily. You're just dealing with people who are looking at it financially. So I got an email saying, all contracts are terminated and we'll be finishing at the end of October. They've been very good. They've closed out fairly with everybody involved in the series. I just think it's a real shame. I loved it. It was so much fun working in America, and I had a lot of fun working prior to that with America's Rallycross, which was run by IMG. I like working with Americans. I like, that their excitement for the sport is, they're stoked. It sounds corny to say,
it's something completely different, isn't it? They're just American and sports. It's just the brilliant mixture of magic somehow. They just love it, and they express it so well, and they do it so well.
Yeah, they do, and the events were fun. I know you came to Vegas. I know at the end of last season, But prior to that, you'd been at Salt Lake, and yeah, I mean, that was the very start of Nitro Rallycross. Obviously, it maybe didn't have so many people, but I mean, it was such a big event, Nitro World Games, with all the other stuff that was there, flat track, that ridiculous vert wall thing with the motocross bike, which just looks like, why would you want to do that? FMX, I get, but the vert wall thing was just absolutely terrifying. I was, working with the likes of Ken Block, Todd Richards, the pro snowboarder, who's just so much fun. It was like, wow, this is just one event. And then the plan was always to go to become a series. And of course, COVID hit. So it ended up becoming a series later. But how much fun was 2021? It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
What a great season.
It was absolutely brilliant. And we had so much fun. Also, we had so much fun, like rewinding a little bit further to when World Rallycross was young, building that up from scratch. We have been have our own little share in building the sport and like making Rallycross, in my opinion, the best motorsport in the world. Like I love it, but of course I'm biased. But everybody's biased listening to this podcast, so it's fine to say.
Yeah, we can say we can say what we want. Yeah,
preaching to the choir, But no, I think like it's so negative at the moment, and it's a very difficult time with all the changes happening. And of course, like all electric was like not very popular with the fans. A lot of things coming together at the same time in a negative fashion. But I want to ask you, like, moving forward, and like if you can dream big, what would you like our sport to look like? Not the individual series or whatever, but like what would the dream be for you? And like, how does the sport look in a couple of years?
So difficult, isn't it? We probably do need manufacturers. There's a bit of me that thinks, we can live without them when you think about 2019. But the fact is, if we're really honest, a lot of rallycross cars are old now. And the only reason anyone's going to start building anything brand new with loads of money spent on it, that back in the day of, the factory cars rolling up at the start of the season, like, ooh, look at the little winglet on the side of the 208, and then there were, the front radiator with Volkswagen, and then the Audi turns up and it's got a weird lever next to the driver's seat. And I loved all that factory team stuff, but that only comes with your man on the grid rolling the little thing up to check how much grip there is. Now, all of that was factory team. And if we want the sport to really flourish, probably we need the manufacturers. The problem there, of course, is that at the minute the manufacturers are following the governments are telling them it's got to be electric, and the fans don't like electric. And it's I know you boys race electric, we're just being honest here, it's a hard sell. I do think, although I'm being really honest, I haven't followed the World Championship very much because it was behind a paywall, which was a terrible decision. But I haven't. That was the worst decision they made over everything else. But I think Battle of Technologies, looking at the social media, have gone down much better. So moving forward, I'd like to see that expanded to more. Let's allow a hydrogen drivetrain. I'm not technical enough to get fully into it. I'd like to see the cars stay roughly the same size. I don't like the idea of it. When the cars go big, we lose the European tracks. The European tracks aren't big enough. So I'd like to see them staying a similar size. And I'd like to see unification. I would love to see all the drivers back in one place, traveling around the world, doing one big series. There's room for an American series, of course there is, but I want to see crossover. That was the best thing about the early Nitro Rallycross, was that you guys, and Matthias would go across and go up against Tanner and Scott and the factory Subaru team. It was like, wow, and actually the level was really close if you think about it. If we have to be separate, if we're going to do an American thing and a European thing, I'd love to think that there's a point at which, like the original Nitro Rallycross World Games was, where we come together and race each other. I think people want to see that. I always remember Johan saying that he desperately wanted he would have entered Nitro Rallycross if they brought the Subarus across to Linden Hill, because he wanted to go up against Scott Speed, because he knew that the Subaru was the benchmark, and he wanted. And then you got other drivers going, no, I'm not entering a Subaru there because I won't be able to win. And there's the quandary, So you go, we want factory teams, but then if you enter a factory team, probably someone in a 3-year-old car is not going to win because they won't be able to keep up. So it's such a delicate balance. It's such a knife edge to have factory teams in there, but also to maintain big entries. 8 cars is not enough. I want to go back to when we went to Hollius and we had 40 cars and there was a waiting list to get in if somebody failed at scrutineering it. The best thing about those days was if one of you guys had a puncture, you were screwed. Like you had to fight your way back into the semis, and now you have a puncture, it's on. You'll still qualify 11th, and there's no jeopardy. Like, to have jeopardy, you need big entries. So as soon as we start this conversation, you realise there is a lot to fix, but I prefer to be positive about it than negative. We have a great opportunity now that the rights to the World Rallycross Championship are going to a new promoter. We don't know who that is, but we have to see where that goes. I'm told by people at the FIA that it is a massive process, and we need to, hopefully everybody buys into it, including the fans. So there's a lot of work to do, but let's go, because I agree with you, it's the best motorsport.
If you say we had OEMs, we had no paywalls, full of social media activity, all the best drivers, where would you go then in the world? What locations, what tracks? What would your calendar be, including Hurleys and a few more maybe?
Okay, so
no limits. You can go wherever you want.
Okay, so we're going to have a double header in the UK, which is going to be Lydden Hill and Brands Hatch. Lydden Hill, obviously, because the sport was born there. And it's an hour from my house, and Brands Hatch is also an hour from my house, and it's the first place I watch Rallycross, but it's got to be the old layout. Can't go across the back. No, I want to come down Cooper Straight after Hobbies drop the wrong way and come up through the back of the pit lane. Jonathan Palmer, we're going to have to modify your circuit. It's going to get dirty. You're going to have to live with it. So that's that's the double header. Lowiac, we've got to go to Lowiac because of the massive amount of fans that go there for that event. If we have to go to another French circuit, that's fine because the sport's huge there. But we've got to go to France. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. We need to go there. Sweden, we've got to go to Holius. I love Holius. Holius is the one track that I think I could bring Travis Pastrana to, and he'd go, it's sick. Because you know what Travis is like. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. It's just a wonderful track that I've had the very great pleasure of driving around, and I loved it. So we've got to go to Holius. Need to go to America. Let's be sensible about it. At the minute, everyone's struggling for money. I'd say you could go to Phoenix or to Salt Lake City straight away. You couldn't do the gap jump, obviously, with FIA rules, but Salt Lake's got an over-under anyway. You've got the tunnel under the tabletop. You could modify that a bit. I wouldn't mind betting that's roughly right in terms of tarmac and gravel. But there must have been a rule change anyway, because World Rallycross was looking at going to 100% ice race. So in that case, we can bend the rules on surfaces a bit. And I don't think it should be so it's got to be 60-40. So what? No. I like the fact that some nitrocross races were all gravel, and Travis's plan was to have some that were all tarmac. Let's do that. Lowiac's nearly all tarmac anyway. So there's two in America. Got to go and do an ice race. I think probably you need a slightly less studded tyre so the track surface lasts a bit longer. But we need an ice race in there, definitely. Where do you boys want to go? Got to go to the Middle East, obviously.
City race? You want to do a city race? City centre?
Yeah. I'm in two minds. Yes, if it's killer. No, if it's crap. Can I say crap? It's mild.
Yeah, you can.
For sure.
You can do what you want, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's got to be good. I want a good track.
Yeah.
So if you can build me a mega track, which is the, I don't know, really the equivalent of Monaco, but with passing, obviously. And I want bring me in some dirt and build me. Vegas was okay. So I am kind of for bringing it to the people, but I don't necessarily think I wouldn't want every event to be in a city centre. Let's do one, but do it somewhere where tourists want to go. Let's go somewhere where you've got a destination city and build it there. But it is tricky.
Yeah.
No one in the city.
The Hong Kong race was so cool because there were skyscrapers everywhere you looked. And the gravel was actually not boring. It was it got really bad and rough. So you had really good challenges for the drivers to battle those bad conditions. The tracks on the tarmac was no possibility to overtake, but then the gravel turn one, it was anything could happen. I love that, roulette, you don't know what this race is going to give you. That's Rallycross. So that's a really cool street circuit in one way.
Yeah, Hal told me that was a brilliant event. Obviously, again, I saw some of the socials, but not so much from it. A big thing for me is track design. So let's do track design better. So I was very lucky towards the end with Nitro to be involved. We had a track design team, which was Travis, a few of the senior management, myself, Andreas Eriksson from the FC1 side. And we'd get together and look at the track design and go, there were a few times I was frustrated. In most of the series I've worked in, Extreme E was the same at first, a kilometre long start straight. No, we need a corner. Good examples of good starts for me. Holius goes right, left off the start. Lowiac goes right, left off the start. Riga, left, right off the start. So there's ways of designing tracks to make sure the action is brilliant. So if we're going to do that in a city centre, let's go. But maybe the first two corners need to be gravel, Kevin, if there's no passing on the tar. Or do we make them wide enough and a left and a right that you get the good rallycross starts? So track design's crucial. And when you look at the tracks that race well, Holius, I think a good example again. there's a way of laying things out. And sometimes I think someone's gone, there's the track. Oh, yeah, that meets the FIA's requirements. No, like that. Now get some drivers to look at it and go, that corner's going to suck. Or some engineers or a commentator who wants it to be exciting. Like everybody's got to get together. The end product is television, whether you like it or not. So everything has to funnel into, is it a good show?
100%. Yeah, you need the diverse leadership of a sport. I mean, are you the new promoter, Andrew?
Mate, I was just about to say to you, I should have put a bid in. I'm shy of the millions we need to run it. I think we all collectively, when we started the World Championship, I say we, you know what I mean, as a group, it was a very small group of people from IMG. It was a very small group of drivers who've done every event. Timmy, are you the only driver who's done every event?
Yeah, I'm the only one now.
Yeah. So there was a point.
Do you remember when I was a rookie?
Yeah, it was
He's
you,
great
me.
also.
Yeah, you, me, Timmer, and Tim Whittington at one point, wasn't it? Were the only people who'd done all the events. Then Timmer went, then I went. So
at the moment, it's me, Mom, and Tim Whittington.
Is he really?
We're the only three. Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Even Dad's missed one.
Oh yeah, but he was on that thing, wasn't he? Like a
TV show,
reality TV. I love
Champions.
that. How good is that? But yeah, sorry, getting back to it. When we started building the World Championship in 2014, we were all 10 years younger than we are now, and 10 years less experienced, and probably selfishly, like you would have wanted what you want for your team, and everybody still wants that because everybody wants to win. But there's a point where you've got to go. We have. All of us have a decade more experience than we had in 2014. Let's put that experience together and come up with something brilliant. Yeah, let's smash it. Let's move the sport forward together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main thing that is different, at least for me, in these 10 years, and I think maybe generally as you grow up, it's like you learn to appreciate everyone else who is also in the boat with you. Even like when I was that age, I hated my competitors. They were my enemies. But like now, that like you need them. Like in 2019, RX Cartel is like our nemesis, like big rivalry. But looking back now, the season wouldn't have been the same if you didn't have the competition.
Yeah.
Go
on.
No, yeah, and I think like that would be the main difference in doing it all again. Like genuinely appreciating everyone else. I think I learned that from Travis a lot. Travis was when he built Nitro. Rallycross, then he was like, he's always so positive about everybody and like praising everybody up to the sky as everybody deserves to, because it's not easy to drive those tracks at that level. And Travis has this fantastic personality of like raising people up somehow. That's beautiful.
He's a wonderful figurehead for a series. I would love to have him involved in a championship that you were. That we created would be incredible. Obviously, he's tied up with Subaru at the moment, but wouldn't it be great to get Subaru involved as well? Such an iconic brand.
I think we could speak to you all day, Andrew, because we love Rallycross.
Yeah, sorry.
You have seen every driver in this space of racing that is good. So we're going to put you to a little dream scenario once again, and you're one of our first guests, or the actual first guest on our podcast.
Oh, wow.
And
Sick.
And the iconic people from different sports will have the chance to do this too, but you're gonna have the opportunity to choose your fantasy team. So 2 drivers, 1 team principal, and 1 spotter. And obviously, if you want to choose, as you can, but obviously, if you want to be completely impartial, do something different.
No, we've got to exclude that. Otherwise, imagine the pressure.
No, I think you're right.
Timmy and Kevin.
I think you have to. You have to exclude you. I think you have to.
Yeah,
because otherwise, people are going to be. I want Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen, Kenneth Hansen, and Graham Rodemark is my.
Yeah, great.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
Andrew. We'll
Thanks,
pay you
everyone.
later.
See you next week.
I would like to see. What would I like to? So what? Sorry, is it team principal?
Yeah, 2 drivers, team principal, and spotter.
Maybe car also. Which car?
Yeah.
So it's fine. Okay, the Subaru, because because of Colin McRae and Richard Burns being my heroes, and because it's such an iconic brand. If I could own 1 race suit with the word Coley on it, branded up, in a, what you were saying about seeing your name on the side of a car, to the Subaru, because it's iconic. So it's a Subaru team. And I want to bring together, what Johan said. I like the idea of Johan Kristoffersson and Scott Speed, because I think you can see elements of both of them in each other. They both come from that racing background. They both do the whole insane detail thing. They've both got that bit of a killer edge about what they would want to do. Spotter is really tricky. I am actually probably going to go with Graham Rodemark for spotter, because Graham lives about 15 miles up the road from me. We go for a curry and a beer sometimes. So obviously it's the fact he's British, so he's on my level. But I know as well from you guys, if he thinks you're being crap, he will tell you. Like there is
Big
no,
time.
Graham doesn't beat around the bush. There's no, it would be nice if you go a little bit nearer the apex in turn 3. It's like, you're completely messing up turn 3. I've told you 15 times, don't do it again. You know what I mean, don't you? What?
I know. Unfortunately, I receive that all the time.
Exactly,
so I do
mate.
know very well.
No, so probably Graham, because I get a lot of honesty, and I think we just have a good laugh looking at data together. So Graham will be there. And what's the other one? Team principal.
Team principal. Yeah. Who would you have run the shop?
That's really tricky, because I've always said that if I was going to drive for a team, it would either be I'd drive for your dad or for Jussi Pinomäki. Because I see them both as calm influences in what can be a very stressful environment. So that would be the one. Now, the trouble with driving for your dad is, as a general rule, you're going to be in the team. And then I've got 2 very good drivers called Hansen, and the dad is also Hansen. So it's going to be, I don't think I'm going to get the same treatment. So it's Pinomäki.
Good job.
But do you see your dad that way as a calming influence? Obviously, it's different for you because he's your dad. He's not just your team boss; he's your dad. Is he a calming influence? I mean, is it tricky when it's a family team? When you guys are brothers as teammates and your parents are the team bosses, that isn't necessarily the easiest working environment. And you have worked outside that environment now at places like Extreme E. What's the comparison?
I think the main thing, of course, like being family is fantastic sometimes, really difficult sometimes. But also, like what Dad brings as a team manager is like he's so extremely passionate about winning. Like he's not there because he will get rich. He's not there because that's his only job. Like he's putting everything in his life into running this rallycross team, and he just absolutely loves it. But he hates to lose also. So he never gives up. Like there's been moments when we've said like, the setup is kind of where it is. We can't go faster. But like we're half second behind. But yeah, it's like that. And he says, no, like that can't be. But they're like, but maybe there is this crazy idea. He's like, yes, okay, what is it? What's the crazy idea? Can it work? And then like, let's put it on for warm up tomorrow. We have so many. I don't think we can tell them on the podcast. So like the setup changes we've done for warm up Sunday morning, absolutely turning everything upside down, for only to realize, that was as crap as maybe we feared.
It's as crap as Graham Rodemark said it would be.
Yeah,
that won't work.
He's created that.
Oh, mate, how fantastic! Yeah, no, I'd happily drive. I'd happily drive for the Hansen Motorsport opinion, mate. I need calmness. I need people who can say, just be chill and just be like, this is what you need to do. I always think
Jussi is doing that great too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He seems very calm and like level-headed.
Yeah,
like no drama will happen there. But he's also extremely competitive.
I've got so much time for him. He's such a great guy. You talk to him and you can see he intensely listens, which your dad does too. And then Timmy, you and me, he's gone a track walk every time. And I remember we went on a track walk once and then you won, and it was like, right, we need to continue to do this. Kevin, I can remember you in those JRX cars, with the snowmobile engine in at Estering, and it's been, I think the other mad thing is when you think about people like Oliver Solberg, who was riding around our paddock on a bike playing football and is now raced, in WRC2 in the World Rally Championship and absolutely killing it. Like that, that's what makes you realise that time's flying
that
by.
We're old.
I know, mate. I know, it's wild, isn't it? But
but also what a great experience and memories this sport brings, because it's such a close family and we have such a laugh, and there is so much ups and downs and great people involved, and I can't wait for us all to be back together somehow in the new era of whatever will be in the future, because there is a big restart of this world, and hopefully it's going to be for the better, and we are going to be united. It's a strong force again.
Yeah, I think to like just to sum up this, what we've been discussing, like negativity about the sport and everything. I think if Rallycross wasn't so great as a sport, it would have died a long time ago.
Yeah.
The only reason why we're still here is because Rallycross is mega, to put it in Andrew Coley's words.
It is mega. It is an absolutely fantastic motorsport, you know, and I just think be excited for the future of the sport. Let's hope the right decisions are made in the upper echelons of the FIA about where it goes, and let's look forward to Extreme 8. I know Andreas Ericsson wants to go back to America. The World Championship would be back. Let's get out there and smash it. It's gonna be mega.
Great final words. It's
Thanks,
so
guys.
cool to have you as our guest today, Andrew.
Thank
you for
seriously.
joining.
Thanks for having me. The trouble is, we could probably have done 8 hours, couldn't we? We should have just gone live.
We could have.
And there's so many things. There's so many things to talk about. But honestly, it's my very great honour to come on as a guest. Thank you, boys. And I'm looking forward to seeing you this year at some point. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Thank you so much for listening today. Also, remember to like and subscribe if you like this. This helps us a lot. So thanks a lot for tuning in. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much, Andrew, for taking the time. And I hope to see you at the racetrack very soon.